Welcome back everyone, Ronin here. Like I said, I would be grinding off screen, just play Shining Force, which is basically just a classic that I really want to just share with some of you that may have never even heard of Shining Force. This is the earliest tactical RPG I can remember that I played as a child, and it's a really awesome game to play. So, this is the first level. I leveled to 5 just out of habit. You don't need to do this much, but there's some key fights in the game that I know that are easier to level than others. So the first one is definitely one of the easier ones to level to 5. And then after this, all the other missions, you won't need to level up until probably the second act. So this just makes it a lot easier. Alright, the fights are very much scripted, meaning that there's triggers that you need to move to certain locations for enemies to do certain things. It's very predictable. So that would be the downfall of it, but because it's such an old game compared to today's standards, I still like going back, probably just because of nostalgia. What I would like to see out of this game, or this franchise, is to see a really good game, like a really good installment come out of the Shining Force series. See, like, instead of attacking me, that one just stayed there because he's scripted to stay there, which is why it makes it easy to level in this first one. Now, I already have the second spell. I'm just gonna go with the first one. Casters aren't really all that powerful in this game. I'm only using them to show the game as much as I can in one playthrough. Compared to XCOM, compared to Wasteland, and all these other games that are out now, this is a cakewalk. This is basically an RPG where you steamroll through the enemies. You don't have to, but that's how the game ends up being. The Game Boy Advance version has a version where you get New Game Plus, and every time the enemies get harder and harder. I want to go back to that, but it takes at least probably 5 or 6 times through to make it viable, where it's actually harder. Goes on turbo mode, apparently. Now, one trick to level up your healers is to actually use their heal spell as much as possible, because in the long run, they're not going to actually cause a lot of damage. The more heal spells you cast, the better it is for you to level them easily. The thing that really makes this game enjoyable is the fact that you can promote your characters. So you can change their class, like a prestige system, and then some of the stats stay. You do go back to level 1, and a percentage of your stats are kept. Now, if they could throw that into an MMO, I think the replayability and the amount of time spent in the MMO would be huge, and that would be a huge draw for a lot of players to be able to play and maybe eventually create your own class by promoting yourself a few times. I'd really like to see that. Like Final Fantasy XIV has the cross-class system, which basically keeps people playing on the one character so much longer. I think it's something that should be brought up to MMOs. So the game is pretty straightforward. This way you just kill the knight at the far end and then you're done. In the beginning, if you're level 1 or 2, he may prove difficult to hit. Now, Blaze 2 is your AoE ability. It does a bit more damage. I think 1 extra damage than the first one. Maybe 2. The problem with casters is they're really limited in their MP. In late game, they don't do that much damage because the magic damage never scales. It's always a set damage. So in the beginning, they're strong. After a while, they're rather weak. My healer's probably not gonna kill it. Oh, you did. 5. Knights have the option of having a lance, which is like a javelin, or which you can throw, or having a like a knight's lance, where you basically just stab at melee range. So they're versatile that way. And they're pretty powerful. All your stats are randomized when you level. So you could have a character that's really good in one game and not really good in the next. But some characters have a better chance and better stats generally than others. So they have a better curve when they level. The only thing I missed now from an emulator, because this is on the Steam version, would be that I can fast forward the game. Alright, so I don't think the knight can kill my caster in one shot. I hope not. I think graphic-wise, though, for a game that's that old, it still kind of holds up. Oh, 10. Almost. This is where you would want to use your healers to always cast healing spells. Even if you're missing 1 or 2 health, you want to exhaust that mana pool they have just for the XP if you can. I think even the healing items would work in the same way. It's really hard to get experience and killing blows with a healer. Except for Gong. Gong is the monk. He can actually dish out some good damage, especially early on. You level him up high enough. Because his fists have to keep up to people equipping better gear. That's my understanding. So that's it for the first fight. And immediately after that, you end up going to a second fight that's just outside. And this is where it's a lot easier to level here. I'm going to cut it here, and then I will come back. Well, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And I'll catch you in the next fight. Have a great night, everyone.